It starts with a vibe, a feeling, a sense of something different, a sense of something new, something provocative, something transformative, built by all of us together. These are AI vibes. Let them move you to rethink, to reshape, to redefine what's possible, to unlock, to unleash, to uncover entirely new sources of value. Let them drive you to discover, compel you to discuss, help you to disrupt all we think we know. We now have the power to challenge anything, and that power just might change everything. Can you feel it? Welcome to the convention that challenges convention. Welcome to the Deloitte AI Forum.
Welcome to the 2025 Deloitte Executive AI Forum. Please welcome to the stage Deloitte US Head of AI, Jim Rowan.
You can't stop me, 'cause my pain is gasoline.
Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying your day so far at DU and you enjoyed your industry breakout sessions this morning. Want to extend a formal welcome to you to our program. We're very excited to have you here today. For those that were with us in past sessions, there's a nice way to get started, right? We're in our groups of industries talking about what AI is doing, the impact it's having, and really how we progress and make some changes as we go forward. As the intro announced, I'm Jim Rowan. I head up AI at Deloitte. My role focuses on you, the clients, and our markets, and how we work with you in the marketplace. I also have the pleasure of leading some of our AI transformations internally as well. So I feel like I'm also a student here, as well as a chance to share some of the insights I'm seeing, because we're all trying to work through this space at the same time, learning what we can about what's going on in the AI marketplace. My goal for you here for this session is that you've got a chance to kind of leave a little bit more informed. You've made some connections with your peers. You've got a couple folks you're going to follow up with afterwards to stay connected. Because I think what we've learned about this pace of change with AI is that it's great to have a phone a friend, a buddy that you can call and say, hey, what are you seeing? What am I seeing? How's this market evolving? So we hope you have those conversations here and then continue that relationship going forward. We've got a great group of industry leaders to talk to you today. We've got tech leaders from the marketplace, some of the Deloitte experts that we've got as well. So a great session of individuals to share with you kind of our lessons learned of what we're seeing in the market. The thing that, as you think about sort of the AI market right now, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but just this constant pressure of the pace of change, right? Things are continuing to accelerate at faster and faster clips. And the energy's there. It's exciting, right? It's exciting to see what can happen with AI and the future it can unlock. And then it can also create some tension of, well, what does it mean for my business? What does it mean for my team? How is it impacting my people? And so this tension is something we're going to explore a little bit while we're here for the next 24 hours. The other tension that we see in the marketplace too is this hype versus reality. You read the news stories over the past 3 weeks and it's constant questions about the AI bubble, what's going to happen with AI. And yet every day we see new academic breakthroughs, new research that's happening, new advancements in the space. And so we're going to unpack that a little bit and have some debates and hear what people are thinking and see what you guys are saying in the marketplace about what's really going on. So we're really excited about that. Now to give it some sort of context in terms of what we're seeing in the marketplace, we pulled together a couple of graphs just to give you a sense of this pace of change. So the one we see over here on adoption, that really focuses on how fast this technology has been adopted in this space. If you just look at this now, compared to landline, sure, it's super fast. But look at mobile and cloud and the vast, quick advancement we've seen. AI is rapidly becoming everything that we do and everything that's connected to our people, our families, our social life outside of work and inside the office place. We're also seeing a huge investment and pace of change for the AI native companies. They're continuing to move faster, and you're seeing those companies move really quickly. They're developing new ways of working, new operating models. What lessons can we learn from how they're setting up their businesses? So we're going to explore that a little bit in some of the venture conversations we have. How can you add enterprise agility to what you're trying to do today? And then the models. The models continue to get better price performance capabilities that we're seeing out there. One of the charts that we have here is pulled from an OpenAI research paper that looked at how the models were performing against industry expert level tasks. Someone with 14 years of experience performing that task. Now you might say, well, the model's only won out about 47.5% of the time. Well, this is almost a month old now when the research came out. So at the pace of change that we're seeing, you could start to see a really big shift in terms of the models and what their capabilities are. But the other thing that was really interesting about the paper was that it looked at different capabilities. And so let's say in industrial engineering, the model performance was fairly low. But in financial planning and analysis, it was pretty high. And so we continue to see this sort of jagged frontier of model capabilities. And that makes our job even harder in the enterprise to figure out, well, where do I apply this technology? How do I think it fits into my enterprise and organization? Where is it safe and reliable to deploy? So we're going to unpack some of those things over the next 24 hours as well. So yes, this again, speed of change continues to advance. And what we thought was possible or impossible 2 years ago is now possible today. And it's pretty impressive in terms of how we've been able to kind of make those improvements and really drive the future of what our organizations do. And it really also starts to get you to ask the question yourselves of, how am I pushing my organization? The things that I'm working on today, 6 months from now, might be obsolete with the capabilities in AI. How do I continue to push that organization to think farther and deeper and broader about what we can do? And so one of the things that I think every organization is really trying to wrestle with are these tensions that they have in the marketplace around what AI can do and what it can't do. And so when you look at the capabilities that are out there, we see a couple of different things that start to pop up. And I think we're actually going to do a poll really quickly for you guys before we get into this. So hold on a quick second. All right, there we go. Now I got the right slide. Sorry. So these are some tensions that we start to see in the marketplace about your ability to adopt AI. And we think about these areas, we've got talent and culture. So if you think about the talent and culture of your organization, a lot of people are stressed out about, what's AI going to do to my job? You want someone to reimagine a business process for the future using AI agents, yet at the same time, that same person might be reimagining that work. Are they going to have a role in the organization going forward? Not everyone's bought into the idea that humans plus machines will be the better answer in your enterprise. So there's a tension there. There's a tension around the technology and infrastructure associated with it, around the risk and regulatory environment as well. There's a patchwork of regulatory capabilities that are out there, and we're not quite sure how we stitch those together at the state, federal, and global level. And that creates more challenges for the organization. So one of the questions that we wanted to ask you guys was, what keeps you up at night when you're thinking about these tensions? And so if you could grab your phones for a second and take a quick look, there's a QR code. We want you to help answer this question for us and see what is really keeping you up at night as you think about your AI journey, your AI adventure, what you're trying to drive. And I'll stop moving so I don't block the QR codes. So hopefully you're getting a chance to get those answers down. And when you think about these too, I think these are very personal to your enterprise and your organization, but they also continue to be macro questions that we're answering from an economic perspective and sort of the future of how this is impacting our world beyond the enterprise. So let's go to the next page and show the results. All right, so we're showing a good number of folks here are thinking the data and talent and culture are the two main drivers, keeping them up at night, which makes sense. One of our deans is heading up our market offering on data modernization, AI, and data analytics. So hopefully you'll be able to talk to him about what you think data needs to look like in the future. All right, great. Let's go to the next question, though. So as we continue to shift, from this concept of kind of the hype around AI and some of the challenges that we're seeing, from our enterprise perspective, we kind of see AI sort of focus in three main areas for the enterprise. It's really either in the area of efficiency, experience, or growth. And if you think about your organization and where you are today on your journey, a lot of organizations are spending time on efficiency, improving the capabilities of your teams for today. Some are going into the experience. What are the new customer experiences, new employee experiences you're creating? And some are pushing the envelope to say, what new business models can I get into? What growth opportunities do we have through the use of AI? So I'd also love to get this group's feedback in questions on sort of where we are from a poll perspective on where you think you're spending your enterprise activities across these three areas. So if we could roll up the next poll question. And thanks for informing our future survey data. This is always helpful to kind of understand where you guys are thinking and where we can help you get more information and more insights. Great. Can we do the results? Awesome. All right, phew, because I said I thought efficiency was going to be the right answer, so I'm glad that you guys didn't totally prove me out around. But a lot of what we see when I talk to my clients is they're spending a lot of time in AI for efficiency. And I'd love to understand over the next 24 hours as we're talking here, where you see the direction going, where you're going to start to use AI from an experience perspective, where you're going to start to use AI from a growth perspective, and really start to push your enterprise in those new areas. But the key thing here is that as we talk about these results and what we're seeing in the marketplace today, this doesn't happen in isolation. And we started this group and this conversation really focused in industry. And that's so important to how these AI solutions get applied. One size doesn't fit all for everything that we do from an AI perspective. And one of the things I want to do today is welcome one of our industry leader, Lynn Sterrett, who runs clients, industries, and insights for Deloitte, and have her talk to us a little bit about what we're seeing in the marketplace from an overall industry perspective and how that connection between industry and these AI solutions really connect back into what's actually happening, what you need to do to drive value into your enterprise. So with that, I want to invite Lynn up to the stage. Please, Lynn, can you join me up stage? Thank you. Were you going to do a dance as you came up or no?
That was kind of a lame walk-up song. If I say, like, all right, I was like, thought it was like, I need a pit bull or something.
Yeah, you get fired up a little bit more. That was a little too like chill. That was the AI vibe there was a little too chill.
I mean, fired up. I mean, look at this.
Yes, everyone's fired up.
Oh my goodness. How many have been the first time you've been at DU? Raise your hand. Well, welcome.
That's awesome.
Welcome to our home. This is like our leadership center, our home, place we all love to come and collaborate together on. So I hope you have a great session.
Awesome. Well, so I wanted Lynn to join us for a conversation today because everything we do from an AI perspective really connects back to industry. And Lynn, I wanted to hear from your perspective. You talk to clients all the time. Talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing from like a pace of change perspective. And if there's some, I don't know, common anxieties or excitements that you're hearing in your client conversations.
Well, Jim, it was funny. So Jim and I did this little dog and pony show a couple years ago on stage. I think I was wearing a sequins jacket in spirit of Taylor Swift. You know, it's a Taylor Swift kind of Eras Tour time at that point. But it also was Halloween. So we were kind of getting in the spirit. But what I love is that we're not talking about proofs of concepts anymore.
Yeah, that's great.
So
it's
I'm
nice
really
to have a break.
excited about that because it felt like it was just planting 1,000 seeds that really weren't actually sprouting up real value. But what I mean, you know, AI is a catalyst for change. We all know that. I think that there's a lot of variability in how people are actually the pace that they want to go. But the one thing I think that is very uniform is intentionality. So intentionality about where the change wants to happen in an organization. And so we have some organizations that are betting the farm on it, and it's full transformation, full speed, every line of business, all at once, kind of AI everywhere with everybody. And then we have other groups that are really being very methodical about it because the whole ROI has been challenged over the last several years. Like, we're spending a lot of money, we're not getting the ROI, but we really have seen that pivot of the ROI. And I loved all the graphs that you showed earlier. And so I think people are trying to find out what's important to them in their organization and actually, you know, either going fast, you know, with speed and transformation, or getting methodical and actually maybe taking a line of business and actually working it through, getting some good wins, and then actually thinking about spread. But I think the spread is happening, and that's actually really incredible. The other thing that we're seeing is, and I love that you guys started the day with industry. So as an industry person who helps drive our industry strategies across all 6 of our industries, we really believe that this is a moment for industry. And what I mean by that, and you all that are our clients are like, well, we all live in an industry. We don't organize ourselves like that. But for us, it really is about our go-to-market approach. And as we think about the agentic possibilities coupled with the Gen AI possibilities, it really gives you a chance to actually solve the most complex problems that we've all been dealing with. And so this whole notion of reimagination, Jim, and so we really think about how do we think about agentic and Gen AI together, reimagining full workflows, reimagining full subsectors. And so for us, that's what's super important.
I think it is, and you hit on something too, Lynn, earlier as you were talking about this, kind of the need for kind of the executive alignment and like getting that sort of connection of you need the CEO, you need the people like getting behind it, have a purpose, have an intent with what we're trying to do, which is super important. I guess, are there any like surprising or newer creative things that you're seeing organizations do to kind of like help unlock some of these challenges with reimagination or get around some of these things that they're seeing or maybe unlock new disruption?
Well, it's interesting because your efficiency, experience,
and growth.
Was it, so it's funny because I was hoping the growth would have a little bit more.
I was hoping for a little more too.
I know, but I think maybe next year if you do the same segment, I think you actually see growth. I mean, because what I think people are most excited about, we don't even know yet. Like we don't even know the possibilities that are out there. And what I'm really excited about, and our clients are, is the new value creation, right? That can't even be imagined right now, but you've got to like, actually, as you're starting to reimagine and then you're figuring out like where there are new models that you can go to, what are new partnerships, what are new strategies. So I actually think that that is actually fueling how they're thinking about, how do they adapt to the AI enabled business. And so as we think about I think about the impossible to possible, and we were just, so next door, 2 doors down, just so you all know, like we've taken over DU. All of our client leaders, so all of you have a person that's kind of assigned to wake up every day thinking about your particular organization, the challenges, how do we help solve them with you, how do we partner together? And so all of our top client leaders are 2 doors down having a same conversation about this, about how AI is really, changing. And it's a moment, right? It's a moment to lead, it's a moment to create, it's a moment to change. And so we're actually figuring it out all together. And that's one of the things I do love is that we're kind of all like in the same boat, like solving it together. And it's really a team sport.
Totally is. And I think hopefully you're seeing in your organizations too, the need to bring together the operating models, the cross-business collaborations, the partnering with risk and legal and brand to make sure things are all connected together as well. Maybe, Lynn, kind of one other question for you, kind of thinking about your specific role in industry. You've grown up in healthcare, you've served patients, you've been in that space. How do you see AI in that industry and sector kind of really sort of starting to transform things?
Well, life science healthcare really has a lot of possibility. If you think about just the pharma side of life sciences, the whole ability to sequence protein, the whole ability to get drug discoveries at a faster pace helps all of us actually, and which also impacts the whole healthcare system, right? And so as we've been able to launch new initiatives, that entire ecosystem that's getting changed and the partnerships and the collaborations that are happening. And what we're also seeing is there's kind of cross-industry convergence. So as you think about the experience either in a hotel or at a restaurant, there's a lot of learnings and there's a lot of like agents. Like if you think about demand pricing on an airline looks different, but very similar in what you're trying to accomplish as it does to a restaurant. And you think about the restaurant chains and the demand pricing that a lot of the restaurants are going to. My 18-year-old, who's a freshman at Ohio State, he said to me, Mom, I don't get it. Like sometimes at Chipotle, it costs me this much. And sometimes at Chipotle, it costs me that much. And I'm like, that is demand pricing, my son, full and well. And so we're excited about in healthcare, the cost of care. I mean, anybody that's put their open enrollment in has seen that healthcare costs have increased and the care of costs continues to rise. And so we've got to figure out how do we use AI to actually solve that problem. And so I'm excited about that. But I'm also, there's so many other things in all of our other industries. As a person that loves retail, the way we're going to shop is going to be very different in the future. Chatbots, you saw some of the latest conversation about how, chatbots are going to help pick out your outfits. They're actually going to execute the order for you and they're going to get it into, to your door as quick as possible. So we have retail. I lived in California for 8 years and came across many wildfires. I'm so excited about what we're doing with the drones, vegetation management, thinking about, the utility poles and being able to do that at a much faster clip. And so I think that the possibilities are just endless. And that's what I think I'm super excited about.
Awesome, Lynn, I love the insights. Thank you for coming by and visiting this group. We'll be around for 24 hours, so don't be a stranger. Come back and say hi.
I won't. Well, as we said, right, it's human-led and AI-powered future. So I hope you guys have a great couple of days and that you really spend some time identifying with what other people are doing in their organizations and take some of those best practices forward to your own organizations as leaders of AI.
Awesome. Well, Lynn, thanks so much. Thanks for coming on stage. Appreciate it. The connection to industry is just so important in this sector, specific things. And I'm sure you guys see this too, as you have software vendors come to you to say, I've got this verticalized solution or this other solution for you and how it fits into your business needs. And really, I think that connectivity is really where we're going to start to see some more unlocks from AI and how it can start really improving business value and the value you create around that.